There's a way to achieve your biggest dreams while still being lazy. I'm a lazy person. Most of my life I struggle from what people consider to be lazy. I've always been like that. But this one lazy shift literally got me to leave from my music skills, work from home, and support my family by doing what I love. And I was this close to giving up on it. Now, this might sound a bit controversial, but being lazy makes sense. We all want life on easy mode. The thing is that you also want growth, you want momentum, you want to feel life. Easy can give you relief, but happiness comes from progress. You don't want to grind all the time, but you do want flow, you do want to achieve things. You can't really sit still because you know you're meant for more. You have potential in you, and it wouldn't be fulfilled by just sitting around all day. So the right kind of lazy isn't doing nothing. It's doing less, but doing the right things. So if you're anything like me and you want life on easy mode, let me confirm for you that being lazy can work out. You just need to redirect your laziness. Let me explain. My son hates brushing his hair. Well, we brush his hair, and he's not a fan. He can get dreadlocks after one day of playing. So we try to get him to brush his hair every morning for 1 or 2 minutes. But he decides to be short-term lazy. He chooses to say no to this 1-2 minutes because he can't really see that in a week from now, when we're going to have to brush his hair, it would actually be a much longer, painful session of us trying to get these dreadlocks off his head. I make decisions like my son every time I tell myself to work out more. And I choose the short-term lazy. And I find reasons in my head why it's fine for me to not do this. Though I completely understand that in a few years from now, it will be harder for me to achieve what I can achieve from just saying yes to a few workouts right now. These small, uncomfortable decisions compound into life that flows. If you, just like me and most people on this planet, want life on easy mode, you want the daily brushes. You don't want the one big, hard session. Here's the 2 types of lazy. I heard this thing on a podcast years ago. I can't remember who said it, but they talked about the 2 types of laziness: short-term lazy and long-term lazy. Short-term lazy means easy now, hard later. Long-term lazy might be a bit uncomfortable now, but buys you freedom and time later. Basically, every decision you make is one or the other, and you get to choose which one. Ever since I heard about short-term laziness and long-term laziness, I had to reflect on it as a lazy person, and I noticed something that a lot of creative people can relate to. Because as a creative, easy mode is always available. You just want to make music, you just want to make art, you just want to paint, you just want to sculpture. Whatever it is that your creative act is, it can always feel like progress because you're doing the thing, your life's in flow. A new idea hits and you just say yes. And you feel better immediately. I love that stuff. Starting a new loop on Ableton is the equivalent of having a chocolate at 11 p.m. for me. But if you're like me and you're an artist that's trying to make a living from their art or from their creativity and skills, those decisions are short-term laziness disguised as creativity. You'd be better off finishing the things on your to-do list that have way more leverage for your actual goal with your life. The new idea feels easier, feels comfortable, it's what you want to do because you're probably going to succeed. But taking a good look and asking yourself if this is a short-term lazy or long-term lazy decision flips it all. That's one of the biggest shifts that happened to me. And once I got into the routine of that, it didn't only affect my creativity and my music, but it affected my whole life. And if you are an artist that wants to make a living from their art and skills, you should really notice if you have this blind spot, just like I did. Because I noticed something interesting in the way I looked at my music career. Everything that was music related had an immediate yes. Everything that was business related, marketing, promotion, whatever it is, almost always a no. And if I said yes, it was after 60 times of saying no and giving myself reasons why I shouldn't do it. And then I would do it, but like half-assed. But once you understand that your leverage decisions don't actually lie in your creativity, but they also lie on the business side of things, your short-term and long-term laziness detector will start bleeping even more. I made this video 2 weeks ago. You can go and check it out about how social media has so much leverage for artists that not using it is one of the silliest things you can do. It's free, it's permissionless, and you can reach millions of people with one post. And no, you don't have to go viral, but the potential of reach for your music, for lives to be changed by your art is just enormous. If you're not prioritizing reach for your platform and for people to know you, how would anyone be there when you're finishing your album? Who would know that you exist if you're not trying to push your brand into the world? People need to know you. Not only your Ableton needs to know you. Your friends are amazing, and yes, word to mouth is great. Making a post is nice, but are you actually trying and doing the work to have long-term lazy outcomes. If you want the majority of your life to be in easy mode, you should make long-term lazy decisions. But if you're here, you probably want to make a living from your art. If you need help starting with social media or just getting into the habit of posting, there's 60 free post ideas for music producers in the description of this video. If you want to go check it out, grab it. It's completely free. I recommend starting. I made it so it's a very lazy decision for you to do, but it's actually a long-term lazy decision. So hopefully you're going to do that. Now, there's a lot of ways it can manifest in your life. For me, for example, I have deadline on an EP and a few remixes that I'm working on, and I started this loop just yesterday. I chose short-term lazy. Shouldn't have done that, but it felt good. I get it. I get lazy as well. But if my ambitions are to play on the big stages and to get better and better music out there in the world, then I should have worked on the EP. But I made a promise for myself that 70% of my decisions, at least, are long-term lazy decisions. I'm ambitious. I want my music, and for me, to be on the big stages. I want to create more music to the world, and the world wouldn't necessarily hear this loop. They would hear the music that's out there. So finishing music has much more leverage than starting a new loop. If you're ambitious, but you feel lazy, just know that you can redirect your laziness into having more impact in your life. If you really understand that, yes, life on easy mode is great, but being short-term lazy actually makes your life harder in the long run, and that the small, uncomfortable decisions will compound in your favor, you just might change your life. So choose consciously. Good luck with it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.